The eagle dives from the sky, locking onto its target with sharp vision. When another predator enters its territory, the ruler of the skies responds immediately. Its talons become the decisive point for any misstep on the ground. In the open air, the eagle does not chase. It commands. In the world of birds of prey, the eagle stands as a clear symbol of aerial power. Many species have wingspans reaching close to 8 feet and exceptionally sharp vision. From high mountains and South American rainforests to the grasslands of Africa, they are present across a wide range of environments. Wherever they live, eagles stand out for their high-altitude hunting, long observation, and perfectly timed dives. Across the vast sky, they dominate not through noise, but through precision and composure. The Rockies are not a place for the weak. They are an arena for the most enduring and adaptable creatures. If the mountain goat is a symbol of resilience on the ground, the golden eagle represents power from the air. Here, every encounter is not just a hunt, but a test of instinct, terrain, and some of the highest survival skills on Earth. With a wingspan of nearly 7 feet, this predator approaches in almost complete silence. When it spots a young goat that has just moved away from the protection of the herd, it can fold its wings and dive at more than 150 miles per hour. The golden eagle's strength does not lie only in the dive, but also in its ability to choose the right moment, the right angle, and the right target. Against an adult goat weighing hundreds of pounds, a direct approach is rarely the most effective choice. Instead, on narrow slopes and in strong winds, some experienced individuals may use repeated close passes to apply pressure, forcing the target toward a disadvantageous position. Once balance is lost, a single slip can allow the cliffside itself to allow the terrain to determine the outcome. In this harsh place, victory does not always belong to the stronger one, but to the one that understands wind, altitude, and gravity better than its opponent. On the sunlit savannah, impalas move like dancers across the grasslands. With strong, streamlined bodies, they can accelerate to around 50 miles per hour and leap nearly 10 feet to avoid many dangers on the ground. In the open plains, herds stay in constant motion to reduce risk. Adults maintain a tight formation, but young ones may fall a few steps behind when changing direction or crossing uneven terrain. That brief gap is what an eagle can exploit. From above, the martial eagle does not strike right away. It observes for a long time, waiting for the exact moment when an individual drifts beyond the herd's protection. When that moment arrives, it folds its wings and dives at a steep angle, using height to close the distance with remarkable speed. The impact carries powerful force from above, leaving the young antelope unable to react before it even understands what is happening. The mother impala may turn back to assist, but that response is often slower than the timing of an attack from above. If a young one becomes isolated, even for a brief instant, the advantage shifts to the predator. On the African plains, survival does not belong only to the fastest runner, but to the one patient enough to wait for a single opening. Across open grasslands, the rabbit is a symbol of alertness, able to sprint at around 45 miles per hour. Its sharp turns and repeated leaps make it a challenging target for many predators on the ground. But under the golden eagle's vision, agility is only one part of the survival equation. From a favorable height, the eagle watches silently. With sharp eyesight that can detect small movements from a great distance, it does not dive the moment it spots its target. Instead, it waits for the rabbit to leave cover, cross an open gap, or lose a fraction of rhythm while changing direction. In this hunt, talons with a gripping force of around 400 pounds per square inch become the tool that carries out nature's command. Not every dive succeeds, but the combination of gravity and absolute precision has turned the eagle into a true ruler of the sky. By targeting individuals that expose a weakness, the eagle helps regulate rabbit populations and maintain balance in the rhythm of life across the grassland. Not every predator is tied to just one type of prey. For the white-tailed eagle, that flexibility helps it hold a prominent place across vast rivers, lakes, and coastlines. In a single day, it can shift from fish-filled waters to birds searching for food above, always watching for the smallest opening in another species' rhythm of survival. When an Egyptian goose drifts out of formation, the advantage does not come from rushing, but from altitude, approach angle, and timing. The eagle descends from hundreds of feet with a tight and precise path, forcing the target to react within a very short window. With just one wing beat later than usual, the balance in the air begins to shift. Among smaller flocks, such as bee-eaters, the pressure arrives even faster. One sudden appearance from above can be enough to break the formation and expose the first bird that falls out of rhythm. The target is quickly isolated with a precise grab. Even experienced birds of prey, such as hawks, or powerful birds like cranes, may have to stay cautious when an eagle enters an aerial dispute. Without making much noise, it still creates pressure through its wide wingspan, broad field of vision, and superior ability to hold position. In the wild, the one that holds the advantage the longest is not always the fastest, but the one that adapts its strategy before the sky has time to change. In the green canopy of South America's rainforests, monkeys confidently move through three-dimensional space with compact bodies of only about 25 pounds. They glide through tangled branches, trusting that height is a safe shield against every danger on the ground. However, the forest canopy is not off-limits to the predator known as the harpy eagle. With eyesight 8 times sharper than a human's, the harpy eagle watches quietly from a strategic height. When a target enters its sights, it pulls in its wings and bursts through the narrowest gaps of the great forest at more than 50 miles per hour. With talons about 5 inches long, comparable to those of a grizzly bear, it launches a powerful approach, lifting its prey from a high branch with extraordinary muscular strength. Beyond the rainforest, the eagle's power also appears across the hot, dry grasslands of Africa. Warthogs are known for their resilience and can sprint at around 30 miles per hour to escape many ground-based predators. But when the opponent is the martial eagle, with a wingspan of more than 8 feet, speed is no longer a guaranteed advantage. Just one moment when a young warthog separates from the group can create an opening. That is why the eagle becomes a strategist of survival. Venomous snakes are among the most dangerous opponents in the wild. From cobras and pit vipers to the puff adder, they carry potent venom and extremely fast reflexes, enough to defend themselves in an instant. Across dry grasslands, the brown snake eagle is considered a true specialist in hunting snakes. To reduce risk during close approaches, it has legs covered in tough scales and dense feathers, forming a natural layer of protection against sudden reactions. Its strategy is not based on long chases, but on carefully adjusting each inch of distance, followed by a rapid talon closure to bring the target under control. Off the coast of Malaysia, the hunt unfolds in a different way. Sea snakes often reveal themselves only when surfacing or resting on rocks. That brief moment becomes the opportunity for a sea eagle to gain the advantage from above. In nature, true strength is not always about rushing into danger. Sometimes it is the ability to be in the right place, wait for the right moment, and never allow danger to make contact. A single movement in the grass, and the chase erupts instantly. The lion surges forward like a living arrow, forcing both prey and nearby rivals to hesitate. Amid the stifling heat of the wild, it emerges as the center of raw power. Each turn it controls, each measured push tightens the grip of the savannah's ruler. In the end, what force could truly shake that throne? The wildebeest stands as a symbol of Africa's migratory rhythm. Weighing around 600 pounds and moving in large herds, it gains strength through numbers. Yet constant travel across open grasslands and frequent visits to water sources also make it a familiar target for lions. Even so, this is not an easy animal to outmaneuver. Wildebeest are strong, alert, and capable of rapid direction changes as the herd surges forward, reaching speeds of about 50 miles per hour. For that reason, lions rarely rely on a rushed charge. Instead, patience defines the approach. Hidden within golden grass, the predator lowers its body, conceals its outline, and waits for the herd to pass along a favorable path. When the distance narrows to just a few strides, the ambush unfolds. The focus is often on individuals that are younger, slower, or briefly separated from the group. At that moment, short bursts of pursuit become most effective, as each step forward gradually limits any chance of escape. Even so, a lion's success rate is typically below 30%. Every close approach demands precise judgment. On the savannah, success is shaped not only by strength, but by patience, coordination, and the ability to turn a brief opportunity into survival for the entire pride. Across the vast savannah, zebras are not simply gentle wanderers. They rank among the most alert, hoofed animals on the grasslands. Weighing around 900 pounds, they carry rear legs strong enough to produce a powerful counterforce that any predator must carefully consider. For a lioness, this has never been a chase built on strength alone. From the edge of the short grass, she keeps her body low to the ground and waits for one individual to drift slightly out of formation. The distance closes little by little. Only when the target moves into the right position does the lioness burst forward, attacking from an angle rather than head-on. The key to the hunt is not the first surge, but the way she disrupts the prey's momentum, shifts its direction, and leaves it without enough room to use its rear legs effectively. Everything happens quickly, cleanly, and with careful use of energy. Hunts like these do more than feed the pride. In many ecosystems, predation pressure also shapes how zebras move, where they choose to graze, and how far they stay from risky ground. On the savannah, true power lies not only in strength, but in the ability to control timing and space. Across the harsh grasslands of Africa, the African buffalo remains one of the most challenging targets for lions. An adult can weigh around 1,800 pounds, carrying thick, curved horns and maintaining remarkable stability under pressure. Because of its high energy value, it remains a risk the pride is willing to take. Along the edges of tall grass, the lions lower their bodies, observing for long stretches and waiting for an individual that slows or drifts from formation. Only when the gap is small enough does the approach begin. Working together, they narrow the buffalo's turning space, guiding it into a disadvantage. But the buffalo does not lose control easily. It lowers its head, holds its center of balance, and can surge to about 37 miles per hour. A single well-timed response is often enough to disrupt the lion's advance. The greater risk for the lions comes when the alarm spreads. From behind, the herd turns back as a unified force, closing gaps and reclaiming control. When that happens, the hunt often comes to an end. On the savannah, strength is not defined by the first charge alone. At times, it lies in the ability to stand together at the right moment. In the wild, lions do not only face prey or other predators. At times, the greatest challenge comes from their own kind. These encounters often center on territory, breeding opportunities, and leadership within the pride. When a newcomer enters an already claimed range, the atmosphere shifts immediately. Weighing around 420 pounds, each step carries visible pressure across the savannah. The distance between the two lions steadily closes. Roars rise, not only as a warning, but as a way to test the other's response and resolve. Within seconds, the standoff turns into direct confrontation. They do not rush in recklessly, but use body weight, shoulders, neck strength, and controlled pressure to force the other off balance. The encounter becomes more than a display of strength. It is a test of endurance, timing, and the ability to hold position under intense pressure. If one begins to yield, the outcome is almost certain. The victor secures control of the pride and its critical territory. The defeated must leave, waiting for another opportunity across the vast and unforgiving savannah. Yet, even the winner cannot hold that position for long. In the wild, a male lion typically maintains dominance for only about 2 to 3 years before being replaced. On the African savannah, Hyenas and lions have long stood as direct rivals. Whenever the two appear near each other, the atmosphere shifts quickly. Weighing around 150 pounds, hyenas possess powerful jaws and a strong advantage in numbers, making them far from easy to dominate. When lions are holding a recent catch, hyenas often gather at the edges of the area. Using their numerical strength, they form loud, shifting circles, applying pressure from multiple directions to wear down the lioness's resolve. However, the dynamic can change entirely when the dominant male arrives. With a body size far exceeding that of any single hyena, just a few firm steps forward can disrupt the group's formation. At times, lions also carry out extended pressure tactics, moving through rival den areas to signal clear boundaries of control. In the wild, this ongoing rivalry has become part of an unspoken and enduring balance. No matter how persistent or numerous they are, hyenas often yield when faced with the presence of the pride's dominant force. Among the lion's natural rivals, the African wild dog is one of the few fast and bold enough to demand its attention. Much smaller in size, they hunt in tightly coordinated packs and can sustain speeds of around 44 miles per hour during extended pursuits. That level of coordination allows them to succeed in moments where even the smallest mistake carries a cost. Yet that same mobility often brings them too close to the lion's sphere of pressure. When a young pack moves near an active hunting area, the rhythm of the grassland shifts almost instantly. A male lion appears. It does not need a prolonged chase, only the right position, waiting for the pack's formation to stretch, then delivering a short, decisive advance. With just a few well-timed strides, the pack's momentum is broken, exposing the first individual that falls out of sync within the opening that forms. Even after securing a catch, wild dogs struggle to maintain their advantage if they are too close to lion territory. The presence of the dominant predator can reverse the balance in moments. This is not only about food, but about how the lion asserts control over its range. On the savannah, the dominant force does not need extended confrontation. With precise timing, order is restored. The river may appear calm, but beneath the surface lies an ancient danger. The crocodile remains nearly invisible, blending into mud and still water, waiting with absolute patience. With a bite force of around 3,700 pounds per square inch, it is a rival capable of shifting the outcome within seconds. When lions cross the river, they are no longer in familiar territory. Each step becomes more cautious, as even a slight misstep can open the way for a sudden strike from below. These encounters unfold quickly, often with little warning. The risk becomes even greater for younger individuals. Curiosity or inexperience can bring them too close to the water's edge, where the line between safety and danger grows thin. In that environment, even a brief delay in response can carry serious consequences. Lions may command the land, but at the meeting point between sand and current, the advantage shifts instantly. There, control does not belong to a single species, but to the place where the encounter unfolds. A single sweep across the sky, and the hunt begins in an instant. The hawk does not display its power, it dominates through speed and cold precision. From above, every circling glide becomes a step that steadily closes the distance to its target. When the moment is right, neither prey nor competing predators can break away. So which hawk ultimately becomes nature's most formidable presence? Hawks are not just one species, but a refined group of birds of prey that rule the sky. They stand out with sharp vision, quick reflexes, and the ability to read movement on the ground. From North American grasslands to open woodlands, each species carries its own strategy. Some soar high to observe. Others rely on speed and precise diving angles, yet all help maintain the balance of nature. Across harsh semi-desert regions from the southwestern United States to South America, an unusual exception exists in the world of birds of prey. The Harris's hawk is a bird that does not accept solitude. With a wingspan of about 4 feet and an average weight of only around 2 pounds, it does not rely on individual strength to dominate, but on a more refined weapon: teamwork. Its strategy is a symphony of coordination. When a 5-pound hare is detected hiding in cover, the Harris's hawk group begins to take position. One bird pressures the hare out of the brush. Above, others wait on the top of a 20-foot cactus, then take turns descending to disrupt the prey's rhythm. This is a relay-style pursuit strategy, turning a race of speed into a test of endurance, where the prey struggles to keep its advantage. The Harris's hawk mainly feeds on hares, ground squirrels, rodents, and reptiles. A dangerous encounter may unfold around a cactus thicket, where a rattlesnake slips through the rocks. Instead of rushing downward, it keeps its distance, watches every movement, and waits for a safe angle of approach. When the moment comes, the Harris's hawk turns the sheltering terrain itself into a hunting advantage. After the hunt, the group may take turns feeding and storing food in trees. Across the drylands, the Harris's hawk shows that survival requires not only strength, but also unity and coordination. If the eagle is the king of the wide-open sky, then the red-tailed hawk is the tireless patrol of North America's open lands. It appears across deserts, grasslands, roadsides, farmlands, and open woodlands, where high perches become natural watchtowers. With a body weighing nearly 3 pounds, a brick-red tail, and a strong, raspy call, this bird is familiar but never easy to underestimate. From above, its sharp eyes scan low grass, brush, and narrow trails. When a squirrel busy searching for food steps into an open space, the rhythm of the hunt begins to rise. The red-tailed hawk drops from its perch, folds its wings, and dives along a controlled flight path. During the dive, it can reach around 120 miles per hour, causing the prey to lose its advantage within only a few wing beats. In the hunt, the advantage does not come from rushing, but from choosing the right moment. Many red-tailed hawk hunts begin from a high perch, where it watches the ground before taking action. A study in Arkansas recorded a hunting success rate of about 19% from perches, much higher than when hunting by soaring. But the red-tailed hawk is not only a hunter of open country. During the breeding season, it becomes a determined protector around the nest. When a great horned owl or larger birds enter the airspace near the nest, the red-tailed hawk may immediately give chase, apply pressure, and force the rival to keep its distance. The Cooper's hawk is an agile predator of open woodlands, parks, and suburban edges. With a wingspan of nearly 35 inches, it is not as massive as the ferruginous hawk, but it is formidable through silence. The zone-tailed hawk does not impress through size, but through camouflage strategy in the hot, dry sky. Across the canyons, slopes, and shrublands of southwestern North America, it appears like a dark shadow drifting slowly on rising warm air. Its low flight, slightly raised wings, and gentle side-to-side rocking make it easy to mistake for a turkey vulture, a species that prey often does not see as a direct threat. That very confusion creates the advantage. On the ground, lizards and small birds may lower their guard when a vulture-like shape passes overhead. But behind that slow appearance is a hunter reading every small movement of the terrain. When the moment comes, it does not change rhythm too early. The bird glides off to one side, drops lower with the landscape, then suddenly turns into a short, powerful dive. In that instant, camouflage becomes an advantage. Across the desert sky, the zone-tailed hawk is a master of deceptive movement and precise timing. The goshawk, or northern forest hawk, is a quiet hunter of North America's woodlands. With a wingspan of nearly 4 feet, short yet broad wings, and a long, agile tail, it carries a biological design perfectly suited for rapid strikes within dense forests. The strength of the goshawk does not lie in open sky displays, but in its ability to close in silently. When it detects a squirrel moving along a tree trunk, it threads through narrow gaps between branches, changing direction repeatedly and shortening the distance within seconds. During pursuit, it can reach speeds of around 40 miles per hour, turning the forest into a maze where escape becomes increasingly difficult. Against agile prey such as hares, the goshawk relies on surprise. It may remain motionless beneath the canopy, observing with sharp vision, then descend the moment the target enters a favorable opening. Strong legs and firm talons allow it to hold prey nearly equal to its own body weight. Its diet is highly varied, ranging from squirrels and hares to the young of other bird species. When larger birds leave their nests to forage, it quietly moves in, taking advantage of brief moments of inattention deep within the forest. Without any need for display, the goshawk depends on speed, precision, and a gripping force estimated at around 400 pounds per square inch to secure smaller targets quickly. Each hunt not only provides valuable energy, but also reveals how a predator adapts to its environment. In the world of birds of prey, the goshawk stands as a symbol of persistence, precision, and formidable presence deep within the forest. The ferruginous hawk is one of the largest hawks in North America, carrying the appearance of a small eagle across the open prairie. Weighing nearly 4 pounds, it appears across dry grasslands, deserts, and semi-desert regions of the West. Its strategy is a combination of patience and explosive power. The ferruginous hawk often waits in ambush on rocky outcrops, and sometimes hunts directly from the ground, a rare behavior among hawks. When it spots prey such as a hare or ground squirrel leaving cover, the rhythm rises slightly. Its wings spread wide, its body drops lower, and its flight path follows the terrain to close the distance. The survival journey of the ferruginous hawk is proof of remarkable adaptation to harsh conditions. Across the wind and sun of the prairie, each hunt is not only a way to sustain life, but also a powerful tribute to the dominance of this ground eagle. The Cooper's hawk is an agile predator of open woodlands, parks, and suburban edges. With a wingspan of nearly 35 inches, it is not as massive as the ferruginous hawk, but it is formidable through silence, quick reflexes, and the ability to change direction in tight spaces. Short, rounded wings and a long tail help it weave through branches like a gray arrow. The first encounter often begins around thick brush, where small birds feed in flocks. The Cooper's hawk does not rush blindly into the chaos. It cuts across the formation, disrupts the flock's rhythm, then chooses the exact moment when a slower individual loses direction. In another situation, this predator targets solitary pigeons, an important source of energy for survival. The chase begins with rising tension. The pigeon may think that a distance of a few feet is enough to stay safe, but the Cooper's hawk follows the edge of a wall, uses shadow as cover, and closes the gap within seconds. In the Cooper's hawk's diet, small and medium-sized birds remain the main source of energy, estimated at nearly 70%. Rodents play only a supporting role, often under 20%, but they help it adapt better to open woodlands and suburban areas. A single stomp echoes, and the ground seems to tremble beneath the elephant's advance. It does not need to charge forward. Simply moving closer is enough to make anything nearby hesitate. Beneath its rough gray skin lie lasting memory, deep composure, and an unshakable will. What happens when this giant decides to stand its ground? On the sunlit grasslands of Africa, presence is often defined by size. The rhinoceros appears like a living fortress, with thick skin and a weight of around 5,000 pounds. Its sharp keratin horn, reaching up to about 4 feet, stands as a symbol of solitary strength, enough to make any hunter keep its distance. Yet before the arrival of long-trunked giants, that presence can suddenly seem diminished in a confrontation that unfolds without noise. The tension often centers near the water's edge, where resources become most valuable. A male elephant in must may move forward to assert priority. A mother rhinoceros lowers her stance at once, holding position to shield her calf. But against the advantages of height, mass, and spatial pressure, she struggles to maintain her ground for long. In the end, the mother and calf withdraw toward the brush to remain safe. Between elephants and rhinoceroses exists a unique relationship. Two heavyweights sharing the same essential living space. From fresh grazing patches to critical water sources during the tightening dry season, the boundary between them is as thin as an invisible line. A branch swept toward the other is not merely a warning, it becomes a quiet signal of shifting priority. At the harshest edge of survival, these encounters are not about causing harm, but about arranging order around vital resources. During the dry season on the African plains, the remaining waterholes are not just places to quench thirst, but spaces where presence defines priority. The hippopotamus dominates the shallow water, with a body weighing around 8,000 pounds and a well-known territorial response. But when adult African elephants slowly approach the water's edge, that familiar balance is immediately tested. They do not seek confrontation. They come for water to cool their bodies, protect their skin, and reduce energy loss under the intense heat. That calm presence creates the greatest pressure. The hippopotamus rises, keeps its distance, and watches each heavy step entering the shallows. Faced with a significant difference in size and mass, the one that steps back first is often the one that once held control. At times, a bull elephant must cross a stretch of river where a group of hippopotamuses remains partially submerged. Even a slight movement beneath the murky surface can raise the tension, as one individual emerges to test the reaction of the passing giant. But with its greater weight and steady movement, the elephant quickly shifts the balance. Each step pressing into the soft mud prompts the group to adjust their distance. In most encounters like this, the hippopotamus gradually moves away from the water's edge. It is not surrender, but a measured response shaped by generations. Under the intense heat of Africa, water sources draw many species together. The African buffalo holds one of the most resilient positions at these sites. With a body weighing around 1,900 pounds, thick horns, and a steady defensive response, even the lion approaches with caution. But when a bull elephant, standing about 10 feet tall, appears at the water's edge, the familiar balance begins to shift. The elephant does not need to approach quietly. It moves straight forward, building pressure with speeds of up to about 25 miles per hour, using its sheer size to dominate space. If the leading buffalo attempts to hold position, the elephant continues advancing, narrowing the space near the water and prompting the herd to adjust. African buffalo are resilient, but they also assess risk carefully. As pressure from size and space increases, they often move away from the edge, allowing passage and leaving the richer grass close to the water behind. Along the riverbanks of Africa, crocodiles have long been masters of ambush beneath murky waters. With a length of about 16 feet and a bite force around 3,700 pounds per square inch, they are enough to make many animals cautious when approaching to drink or cross the current. But during the dry season, as water levels drop and pools shrink to just a few feet deep, that advantage is compressed into a narrow space where every ripple becomes a signal. Within that confined water, encounters with elephants become especially intense. The crocodile still surges forward by instinct, fast like a trap springing from the mud. But this time, it faces a massive body weighing around 20,000 pounds. The elephant pivots sharply, steps forward in rapid succession, swings its trunk with force, and releases powerful calls that send water splashing. Instead of retreating, it pushes the pressure back toward its opponent, turning an ambush into a controlled act of resistance. In the remaining narrow waterholes across the grasslands, the situation grows even more tense. When a mother elephant with her calf has its safety space challenged, she immediately shifts into a decisive defensive stance. That response does not come from panic, but from a strong protective instinct. Yet if the calf moves too far beyond that circle of protection, nature rarely allows room for error. At the water's edge, survival belongs to the one that holds the boundary to the very end. The lion is often called the king of the savannah. A full-grown male can weigh around 420 pounds. They hunt through ambush, bursts of speed, and coordinated group strength. For many herbivores, that presence is a constant threat. But with elephants, especially when a calf is present, any approach can quickly turn into a high-pressure standoff. As the lions move along low terrain, using dense grass to close the distance, they spot a mother and calf ahead. Their assessment is swift, focusing on the smaller, more vulnerable individual. Yet this time, the plan is halted almost immediately. The mother elephant is the first to detect them. In a single moment, she shifts from alert to decisive action, moving forward with enough force to make the predators pause. Her trunk swings with power, her steps come in rapid succession, and her forward surge delivers a clear warning. A sharp call quickly brings other adult elephants into the scene. The older females gather at once, forming a living barrier and tightening a protective circle around the calf. Faced with that formation, the lions no longer confront a single target, but a unified group moving with shared intent. The predators withdraw. Under the late afternoon light on the savannah, a pack of African wild dogs begins to tighten its formation around a moving group of elephants. Known for speeds reaching about 40 miles per hour and highly coordinated teamwork, they focus on the more exposed individual, the calf lagging slightly behind. Even a brief opening can raise the tension. The response comes almost immediately. The mother elephant turns and positions herself between the pack and the calf. She does not need to charge far. A few firm steps forward, her body widened, and a steady protective stance are enough to form a living barrier that is difficult to approach. Each time the pack attempts to shift direction, she adjusts her position, closing every gap. After several probing attempts, the wild dogs gradually ease the pressure and withdraw. The elephant group continues moving in a tight formation. On the savannah, advantage does not belong only to those that move faster, but also to those that know when to hold their ground to protect the young. In the world of elephants, the greatest challenge does not always come from predators, but from another bull. During the musth phase, testosterone levels can rise significantly, making the male more sensitive to unfamiliar scents, fresh tracks, and the presence of nearby rivals. The opening is rarely immediate contact. Two bulls will spread their ears, lower their heads, and produce low-frequency rumbles as a warning. If neither one yields, the distance quickly closes. They begin to press their tusks together, turning their bodies and applying force to move the other back step by step across the ground. The most intense phase often does not last long, but the pressure that follows can continue. The stronger individual may hold access to better grazing, water sources, and more favorable positions within the group. Others observe from a distance, and order gradually reforms. For male elephants, strength is not only about dominance, but also about maintaining distance and preserving stability within the group. After each encounter, the eagle affirms its place as a symbol of freedom and power. It survives not only through strength, but through courage, timing, and resolve. In the wild, every appearance makes the sky feel more commanding. If you find this journey compelling, please like and subscribe. Nature's greatest stories are still waiting to be told.